How's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
Uh, Cold,
Is it?
dude. It's freezing.
It was 60 something today.
It's 11 right now. On
11.
Sunday we had a high of 6. It was negative
Wow.
6 in the morning, dude. It was just like, oh man.
That's normal though, right?
We get a bad spell of like 2 weeks of 0, 10 degrees.
I'm gonna be building a trike at work next
Okay.
week, which would be kind of cool. On a Honda came out with a GL 1800. They call it the F6B. So it's like the gold wing without the rear luggage box.
Okay.
So imagine just like a flat style gold wing, big old seat. It looks like the Harley baggers, like the ones that have like the nice big fairing in the front, and it's like a flat streamlined bike behind it. And this one, I'm not sure how much it is because of the F6B. The labor's not quite as much, I don't think, but it's pretty expensive, man. It's probably about 12 grand for the kit
Wow.
because they do a rake front end too. So let me turn my volume off. They changed the rake on the front, so I had to get into the front part as well.
Wow, that is a big job, dude.
It's a big job, man. It's a big job, and then you're going off of the instructions.
Yeah, right.
You're just following instructions the whole way, and they're not always the same. And these are handmade kits, so the fiberglass is all handmade.
Sure.
So it's always different.
It's not perfect. Yeah.
Right. It's not perfect, and you want it to be perfect. Because they're paying a lot of money for it. But putting this back on and remounting fiberglass panels that Honda already made and trying to make them fit, it can be weird. I did one on a Valkyrie. I've done one on a standard gold wing, but this one will be the F6B. So we'll see how it does.
Good luck, man.
Thank you. How are your projects coming?
This one here, the motor's done.
Cool.
Oh geez, I don't know where I'm going with this thing right now.
It's like you just keep taking it apart.
Yeah, because you know what, I get into it and I find loose bolts, incorrect hardware, and I'm like, oh, I got to go through this thing every nut and bolt.
Yep.
Okay, so like I just see, and then like with the swing arm, it was powder coated, but the seals and bearings were all left in place, and they taped it off, and the seals are all have powder coat packed on. I'm like, I might as well just replace the bearings too. So I'm rebuilding all that. The swing arm is off. So yeah, just one step at a time,
Yeah, that's what I run into on a lot of stuff that I want to do, and that will set you back, because I feel like there's like maybe there's 3 type of people, but 2 type of people who are like redoing their stuff is like they'll take it apart, they'll see it and be like, this is fine, and they'll put it back together. Where I'm like, I take it apart, this is not going to be fine for either too long, or there's already something wrong with it that I'm just not like paint on the seals. I'm like, I don't want there to be paint on the seals.
Yeah.
If I take the seals off, then I might as well just do the bearings, and then you got to order bearings.
Yeah. Well, the swing arm bearings, the bearings themselves are okay.
Okay.
The linkage bearings are shot. I mean, there's so much play, so I got to do those. I might as well do the swing arm too. It's right there.
Yep.
And so forth. So that's this thing. The Chevelle, I had to take some time and think about the plan of running all the hot side turbo stuff, because I'm running it underneath the trans, and this car is pretty low.
Okay.
So I set the car on the ground and I mocked up the tube, and it looks like I'll have 3 3/4 inch to 4 inch clearance to the ground, which I think will be sufficient, because my old exhaust was 3.5 and I didn't scrape. So I'm good there. And then I had to plan for an air conditioning compressor and routing all the lines. I'm not doing AC now, but I will want AC in the car eventually.
Yeah.
So I figured that all out. I called some companies, and yes, their compressor will fit there, and they have brackets and all this stuff. So I got a plan set now.
Yeah.
So I just need to do some actual work now.
So, are you drinking beer?
Yes.
All right. Welcome back.
Yeah, you ready for this? I went all out.
All right, let's see it. But I don't know what it is.
Delirium.
Oh, it's English. Okay, yeah.
Tremens. It's dude. Guess how much four of these costs?
It could be easily $16.99.
$24, dude.
Holy crap!
And I asked after I bought it, I'm like, how much were these? He's like 24. I'm like, oh, all right, well, I can't do anything about it now. I might as well drink it.
Thanks, Broken Moto Show.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I didn't drink for a whole month, so
that's right, man.
I figured I'd
splurged.
Yeah.
So give me a little bit of insight on that. Is that like a local place or?
No, it's a Belgian ale. 8.5.
Nice.
But what I will do is I went to Beer Advocate and I found my most favorite review on this.
Let it rip, dude. I want to hear the review.
Okay, this is from a guy called I'm No Doctor, but Or's clear yellow gold body with a billowing, frothy, sudsy, chalk, white soap bubble head. God, that has moderately high retention and leaves copious amounts of sudsy, sticky lacing as it fades. Aroma is a boozy banana, clove, bright apple, possibly pear, and yeast. Taste follows the nose with the bubblegum additions. I can go on and on, but I mean, Jesus, man.
Soak it all in, man. That's awesome. I'm drinking, I haven't seen this one yet. I think it's like a one-off from New Belgium, one of my favorite comps. I'll be sending you one of these. I'm almost done with your 6-pack.
Okay.
But New Belgium Wild Ride, their 30th anniversary Amber IPA, coming in at a leisurely 7%. Yeah, so we'll let it rip.
Nice. So which one did you like out of all that I've sent you?
I'd say the one that you like the most.
Oh, yeah?
I forgot what it was called.
The Moon Man?
The Moon Man. That one was really good.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a easy drinker, and it had enough flavor to, kind of stick around. Yeah. It wasn't like a super light beer that I'm sending you some danks.
Yeah.
So some real dingers. So
nice. Well, hey, when you go to Mama Tried, it's in Wisconsin, you can drink all the Moon Man you want, man.
I'll definitely be stopping by there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Broken Moto Show, where I, Cody Richards from Motorcyclemd, and my buddy Matt from How to Motorcycle Repair go through emails that you guys send us in to talk about motorcycles, problems you may be having, funny stories. Who knows what we'll get? But it's a way that we can hopefully provide you guys some value, get you guys involved with our channels, and we can talk motorcycles and hang out. That's what we love to do. So there's a specific email that you need to write into. Matt, what is that email?
Yeah, so if you got a question to submit, the email is askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. So put the year, make, model in the subject and just be really descriptive in the body of the email. Mileage, your location, and pictures and videos are a huge plus.
Yeah.
So make sure to include that stuff.
Very cool. So let's jump into this, huh?
All right. So I get the first one, huh?
I believe we did have a trivia question from last time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So real quick, for anybody who answered, the question, I had to look through the video again to remember it, but it was when cornering on a motorcycle, which tire takes up almost 75% of the traction in cornering when you're on a motorcycle? And the correct answer is the front wheel. The front wheel absorbs most of the control and traction from your bike. Believe it or not, the smallest tire on there takes it all in.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess.
Yeah.
But sometimes I wheelie through my turns, remember?
That's right. I'm not sure how much of that is true on a dirt bike. Maybe it's the same. But It's hard to say, you know, because
it depends on where you are in the corner.
right. I mean, if you're trying to dig yourself out of a rut while cornering,
there's a lot of scenarios in dirt.
yeah.
Yeah. So when you're coming in, it's a lot on the front tire, but once you get past like the apex or you're on the gas. You should be on the gas.
Right.
So
that front wheel may barely be touching.
Yeah.
You know, it might just be all like weight difference.
Yeah.
But cool. So we need to announce the next trivia question.
Yeah.
Back to back. Do you have one ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Shoot.
All right. Since you were talking about weight on tires and whatnot, so I figured I'd go along with that. And okay, if you have your bike on your side stand and you want to lift it off the side stand, which way should your handlebars point?
Ooh.
Full left or full right, in the middle, and why? What happens when you have it in a certain way?
Good question.
You know the answer to this, right?
I want to say that I do.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that I'm conscious enough to do it every time.
Okay.
You know, because I hop on and off 20 bikes in a day. And I'll get on it however I need. I'll horse slap that thing and jump over the rear seat if I have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good question, though. Good question. I think I know the answer, and I'm excited to hear it next week.
All right. Sounds good.
Comment below, guys. Let us know what your answer is, or email us in. Either or.
Yeah.
So, question number 1. I would like to take this one because I actually own this bike. I own 2 of these bikes. Sound good?
It's because you want me to get number 2. That's why.
That's exactly the reason, actually. Not gonna lie. No.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
You probably read the whole thing. I didn't read the whole thing. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Question number 1, episode 27. Welcome, you guys. Let's dive in. This is from Matthew. I don't know where he's at. So Matthew, he says, I have a 1992 Honda CB750 Nighthawk. I have some K&N cone filters, part number 0984. I can get the ones on the outside to fit, but the ones on the inside will not go on. Is there another pod filter that will do better? I need your advice. Thank you. And he gave us a link to a K&N catalog, but I didn't even need to look at this.
I put that in there.
Oh, you okay? Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you, Matt. I didn't look at it.
Oh, okay. Because you know the answer, right?
Or it may not be the best answer, okay, but I have an answer for him.
Okay.
So the problem that he's having is when you go to pod filters on those Nighthawks, they have a really thick backbone that drops just behind the motor, right? So the carbs are pretty close to it because you have when you run a stock airbox, you have the airbox kind of juts off with like two 2-in-1 intakes for the airbox. Big mammoth looking. They're probably stretch about 4 inches from the airbox to wrap around that downpipe on both sides and go into the carbs. And what he's running into is the pod filter, like the biggest end. So you know how pod filters are like they cone up.
Yeah.
The biggest end is now contacting that center frame. So I want to force him to think outside the box a little bit on getting these things to fit, which is what I had to do. Because when you buy K&N filters, you spend a lot of money on them. And there's no real filter other than like maybe the oval ones. That may be his answer. But I haven't tried them. So I can't tell you that it would work. But the oval ones, obviously, it's oval. It's not a big round pod. And the oval ones might fit better in that frame. Someone's probably done it. I didn't. So what I did was I extended the intake from the carbs with aluminum pipes. And I polished the aluminum pipes. I'll show a video. I'll put a picture up there. But I just extended them out like maybe 3 inches. So I had to use 2 different rubber clamps to seal them to the pipe fit the widest part of the carb. And I sealed that. And then I extended that out 3 to 4 inches for the same diameter of the pod filter. Now the pod filter sticks out past the frame. It may look a little dorky. I think it looks kind of cool because it's like you got 2. I did it to actually all 4 of them, but it made me gain that clearance. What I what I also did first was, this is back in my younger days, because I've had that bike for probably 6 years now. I heated the metal tube in the back frame and I beat that thing in. Metal tube goes down the back, and I heated the mess out of it with 2 blow torches, and I took a mallet and I beat it in just enough for that to fit. Right. The problem is now you have an ugly down tube frame. You've compromised the structure of the frame, even though that frame is great. I'm not worried about it. I just took it in it was like this. Now it's kind of like this in that one location. Didn't crack the metal. The paint came off, obviously, from beating on it, but they fit. I'm not going to tell you to ruin your bike that way, because the right answer that I came up with was just extending those tubes out. Of course, I did it afterwards because I like the look of it. But that was my response to that when you're running the pod filters. Matt, do you have a better answer?
After hearing you, no. But
okay,
what I did is I put that K&N link in there, and then, I was going to just suggest, because I wasn't sure. Sometimes the pod large side of the cone is too big of a diameter, so when you stack all 4, they don't fit. So I thought that's what the problem was going to be. So I was just going to suggest hey, go in here and dimension it out, measure it up, what you need, and they might have something.
Yeah, because you can get angled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So see this angle right there?
Yep.
So if you kick them out of the way of that down tube, maybe it'll work.
Yeah. Absolutely. They do have that option.
So we'll throw the link down there, and it's pages 272 to 279 for round tapered filters.
Yeah. Perfect. Matt, what you can also do is just Google. I'm sure you're trying to build some kind of cafe racer out of it. Good luck. It's a really nice bike. Google a bunch of images, man. Cafe racer. I'm sure people do that. Go on Instagram, look at the hashtag CB750 Cafe Racer or Nighthawk Cafe, and look and see what other people do. I feel like one of the reasons that is so cool to do, because you can get tons of cool ideas from online and what people have done. You can see, because they've already put in the work to figure out what worked and what didn't work. You know what I mean? And you can get some encouragement from that. That's what I do a lot of times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. So Matt,
yes,
we have a way for people to support us.
That's right.
And we call it the beer fund. It's a easy way for you guys to say, hey, I like what you guys do. I enjoy the content. Here's $3. And that buys us some beer that we get to drink while we talk to you guys.
Some deliriums.
Some wild rides, We're going crazy over here. But we have some people who donate quite frequently or brand new. Let's give them a shout.
Yes. So those people are, we have our regular Justo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Another regular, The Fitz. And here's Justo again. So he donated twice. Thanks,
always, man.
Thanks, Justo. And we have Paul from the UK. It looks like he bought us another tray. So thanks, Paul.
Tray. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it means a lot.
It's really cool to see that every week, and you guys mean a lot to us. So
yeah,
I wish I could remember if they had plugged in a question. We've done so many now that I can't remember what Justo might have written in.
I don't know if he ever did. Did he?
I don't know. I feel like he would have, or maybe the Fitz did. I don't know. Give us an email, guys. Let us know. Give us an update. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. All right. This one's all you, Matt.
Oh, all right.
Take it over, dude.
So guess who it is? It's Joe on 2 wheels, is it? And it's with this Tao 50. Okay, the scooter guy. All right. So I think we asked, hey, we need to see some pictures, some scenic pictures. Of this bike and where you take it. I think his pictures were too big to send us, or he wanted us to get on Google Hangouts or something. So we didn't get all those, but we got some pictures of the scooter.
Yeah.
and some of his stickers. Did you check some of those out? I'm gonna pull those up. I'm gonna share my screen, and we got to look at those because they're
Very
funny.
cool.
But anyway, so he sent us in a 2-page email about some of the roads he takes and stuff. But anyway, I'm just gonna paraphrase some of this stuff. All right, so he named his scooter the little engine that could. He wants to install some fog lights on it. Next up, he goes on this road that starts at about 200 feet elevation, goes all the way up to 2,700 feet. The road is steep, twisty, and has tight hairpin turns.
Nice.
On a scooter, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let me share my screen here.
All right.
All right, so what we have here is his scooter.
Those are his riding shoes.
Yep. Oh man, can I go to the next one? All right, can you still see it?
Yep.
All right, so he's gonna put some fog lights where that reflector is. So I guess that's what he's trying to point out.
Very cool.
Got a little road rash there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Dumped it for sure, but at least he's wearing gloves, right?
That's right. There they are. Yeah.
All right,
full gauntlets.
Let's look at some of these pictures.
Oh man,
I love sushi.
Sushi's good.
So he's got airbag check stickers, stuff like that. Let's see.
Boobs. Lots of boobs.
Airbag check. There's a close up. It looks like it's covering up a crack. Looks like
Potentially.
cracked his bike. I'll just slap a sticker on it.
There you go. Revzilla, shout out.
A little blurry.
That's a little blurry.
Don't follow me, you won't make it.
Oh, I love it. That's
oh
awesome.
man. And some more stickers.
Revzilla. What else we got on there? Hold on real quick. We got Outlaw Racing products. We got some Tusk off-road stuff. What's ZLA?
I don't know.
He really likes ZLA. He's got 4 stickers on there.
Is that a country? You know, some people have country stuff.
Maybe that's Revzilla.
Oh no, Revzilla, yeah. Yeah, I see
ZLA.
Revzilla.com under here.
Dude, sweet.
Okay.
Sweet. So I didn't know you can buy parts for your Tao off Revzilla. Maybe it's not.
They have a lot of gear. So you buy gloves, I'm sure they're big on
and those
gear.
shoes. His riding shoes. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Very cool. Yeah, he sent us I think like 3 more emails that were just slam packed. I believe it's the same guy because it's pictures of just like where he rides.
Oh.
And because of the lengthy description he gave us of everywhere that he rides, which is awesome. He gave us a butt ton of pictures. So I'm not gonna put them all because there's like at least 50 of them on there. So I'll try to highlight some cool ones and I'll post them up. But I appreciate the email.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really like that's what we like to see. We like to see people's bikes and you know, shout them out.
I totally didn't see those pictures, so I apologize for that. Those are the only ones I saw, the scooter. So
honestly, if you would have pulled them up on your screen, you would have had a bucket load of pictures to go through. So it is all good.
Well, I'll just put some up here. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep. Thanks for the laugh, dude.
Yeah, man. We appreciate it. So, question 3. This is Jason from VA, Stomping Grounds. Good evening. I have an O2 Shadow VT1100 C2 Saber. Recently, I have been having issues after riding for a bit. That once I come to a stop, the idle doesn't seem to want to back down. Also notice that the rear cylinder exhaust header pipe is glowing red near the head. I've checked and lubed the throttle and choke cables to make sure that all intake boots are good and tight. Excuse me. I even sprayed carb cleaner around boots to make sure that they didn't have any leaks. It does have the stock high flow replacement air filter. So that's not a stock filter. He has the aftermarket filter, high flow replacement air filter. So, okay, sorry. So it's a high flow filter that is in the shape of the stock filter. and Cobra slash cut exhaust. So real short exhaust, loud as a banshee. The header pipes are heat wrapped under the heat shields, which helped with the deceleration pop. I have also backed the air fuel screws out to about 4 turns and still having the high idle issue after running for a bit. It doesn't do it all the time, and that's what's driving me nuts. Thanks in advance, Jason. So this could be there's no silver bullet for this. But it sounds like he needs to mess with his jetting. 4 out on the mixture screws is too far out for my liking. I'd like them to be more around like 2.5 to 3. It gives you a little bit more playability. I believe on the 1100, they run a bigger main jet in the rear cylinder because of overheating. So that Honda uses fuel to help with it almost sounds kind of like an oxymoron, not an oxymoron, but it sounds redundant because you're adding more fuel to cool the cylinder down, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But when it comes down to mechanical engineering, I believe it does. So yes, they run a bigger main jet in the rear, and maybe one full size, as Matt would say, maybe 3 or 4 numbers larger than the front. Like if they're running like a 150 or a 170 in the front, they run like a 175 in the rear, something like that. And that does help. It sounds like you could be a little bit lean on the rear cylinder. It sounds like you're band-aiding that decel pop with 4 turns out on the mixture screw as well, because that's the best place that you can get it to where it idles good, has good response, and little to no backfire, as well as the heat wrap. But as much of a part as that actually plays, I'm not sure. I would go up on the idle screw. The idle jet. So if it's like 42, or 42, I'd go to like maybe a 45 or a 48 and see if you can't trim that fuel mixture screw in a little bit. And I would look and see what they have the main jets at. If you're running the same exact main jet in both front and rear, again, I'm not sure if it did this on this exact model, but I know they did it on a lot of the twin cylinder, twin carb setups. So check to make sure that you are running a larger main in the rear if the part fish calls for it or the factory service manual calls for it. Or give it a try, because the reason why they do that is because the rear cylinder is tucked behind the front, and so the front cylinder is getting all the cooling effects, and that heat is now transferring back towards the motorcycle as you progress forward, and that heat goes right back onto the rear cylinder. So the rear cylinder is never really getting cooled down per se. I would also check the cooling system out. Make sure that your cooling system is like fully operational, full, and that the fans do come on. Because we don't want you to run into an overheating problem. But it sounds, because I like to try to cover this topic without spewing how much little information I know, because you can get red headers from rich mixtures as well, I believe. You can definitely get color changes with having a rich mixture on like a cheaper exhaust or a low level exhaust metal. So, but I believe he's running too lean. That's what I think. What do you think?
I think you're right. What he's experiencing with the idle not coming down, so that's like a lean hanging idle.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes bikes that are lean will that's like it won't do it every time. So if he's saying, hey, it's only doing it sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Sometimes like when you blip the throttle, it'll go, and it'll just stay up there until you like hit the kill switch a few times to bring it down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a perfect example of a lean hanging idle.
Yeah.
And given that his air fuel screws are out 4 turns, it wants more fuel.
Yeah, he's compensating for sure.
Yeah. And now assuming the carbs are clean with this setup, I would bump the Pilot's 2 sizes.
Okay.
So you said 42, go to 48 or whatever it is. Go 2
Yeah.
sizes. And that should bring you to 3 turns. And then that should be pretty good.
Yeah.
You have no vacuum leaks like you checked for.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I have to add, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I wouldn't point towards carb sync because it's not all the time. You know, I think it's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Hanging idle because of a lean situation, and like I mentioned, it sounds like you're kind of band-aiding it. So it would have been cool if you would given us some jet sizes for where you're at right now. We don't even know if he's been through the carb yet. You know?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably stock.
Yeah, it
He
could be.
The filter was slapped in there and the pipes, and now you got a problem.
Now you got to make some changes.
So yeah, you got to go into the carbs, man.
Yep. Cool.
All right. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason. Question 4.
All right. So this one's a little. I think you were having a conversation with this person. So I kind of I pasted all the stuff in here.
And I actually edited this.
Oh, okay.
Matt. So if you want, I know the full story.
Then you take it, my friend. Yeah.
Cool.
By all means.
Yeah. So, because it was a conversation between us two, and he asked if one of his questions could be put on the Broken Moto show. I said absolutely, because this is a guy who's a success story from purchasing the inline 4 carb clean stuff that I have for the Nighthawk, which has helped a lot of people out, especially this guy. So the first is, and I'll kind of paraphrase this until he gets to his question. So the first issue that he ran into was, which I run into all the time. You pull a set of carbs apart, especially the inline 4s or twins, and it really doesn't matter. It's kind of a crapshoot. You start pulling stuff apart in the carb, and then you realize that there's stuff missing, or you lose something. In his case, he lost on the mixture screws for every Honda that I know of. When they use a mixture screw, whether it's mainly that their fuel mixture screws, maybe not so much on the air screws, especially on the earlier stuff. Now that I think about it, but fuel mix screws, they'll come with a mixture screw, a spring, a small rubber O-ring, and then they'll do a steel washer. It's not in that order. It's actually spring, steel
I was
washer.
Just gonna say,
rubber O-ring,
Yeah.
and the steel washer. The whole purpose of that small, tiny, awkward sized steel washer is so that the spring doesn't eat into that rubber O-ring. So they want it to seal correctly. It adds a little bit of space for the spring to have tension as well. But the main goal is that the spring does not bite into that O-ring and render it useless. You'll see this on old paper oil filters. I'm sure you saw it on your 750. They have or you should have seen that spring, because you pop that cover off. You got the paper filter. Underneath that paper filter is a spring, and then they have a big steel washer, and that's so that spring doesn't dive into that rubber section of the filter. Same concept. He lost his, okay, and you can't buy this part from Honda. They don't sell it. They've never sold it. If you
we're talking about just the washer.
Just the washer by itself.
Okay.
You can buy a brand new mixture screw, and I want to say that it will come with all the parts needed, but now you're spending like $46 to have something that you already have just to get a little small washer.
Right.
So I sent him a link, and I'll put it in the description for this. You can buy a pack of these. You can buy a pack of 50 for like $10. Yes, he needed one, but I actually was like, hey man, if you buy this pack, I'll buy the rest of them from you, because I run into carburetors all the time that don't have them, and I could totally use this. And he just sent it to me through a letter for free, and it was awesome. Nice. So now I have like 48 of these washers, but he was missing it. You guys cannot buy them from Honda unless you buy a whole kit, and they are available from Amazon, and I'll put a link for them to grab.
Is it just a standard metric washer?
Yeah, I think it's like a 4 millimeter with but the thing is that the inside diameter is much larger than a standard washer.
Okay. So
because it has to fit around that shaft.
Okay.
So you can't go to Lowe's and get this.
Right. Okay.
It is going to be something that you order. Someone maybe found somewhere where you can, but I've only found it on Amazon.
Man, out of all these years I've been working on bikes, I've never lost
Really?
a washer or a spring.
Mm.
The O-rings are another story where you got to replace them or whatever. But
Yeah.
if you have links to the O-rings only, let me know, because that would
Okay.
I would love to just have a bag of 50 or 100 of them.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
do a little bit of research and see if I can't find them.
if no one makes them, so right there, business idea: sell O-rings on the side, man. You'll be rich.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about working at Honda is like a lot of times we run into carburetors that are just like too far gone, you know, even on stuff from the 90s and 2000s, they just get eaten up. We've seen it a lot, or it's just too bad, and we'll just replace the carb because it's still available. You know, it's like we can get a brand new carb for this thing. It'll be awesome. I can just tune it, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
And you have brand new stuff. So we'll keep the carburetors. Like we have boxes and boxes and boxes of old carburetors. And we'll take all those little like springs, those mixer screws. We'll just keep them, man, because it's gold.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're trying to finish a carb job and you've ordered parts for it, the parts came in and you still need something else or whatever the case is, or you can knock it out in one day, just go into a pack and pull out an old one. It's good to have for what I do. But yeah, so back to what he says. I gave him the link. It was a big success story because he got what he wanted. He said, thanks for the videos, clear. He's talking about the carb video that he used to clean his carburetor. Thanks for the video, clear, concise, and logical instruction. Got the teardown and cleaning done along with most reassembly. Probably would have gotten the reassembly done. Okay, so he didn't finish it. To my hands and knees. He spent an hour on his hands and knees looking for that stupid washer. So he has completed it. He's done this. He's had some adjustments he needed to do. But he thanked me for the video. So he said, I have a couple questions for you on carb adjustments. Feel free to use this for the Broken Moto show. And we will, Ken. I have not had a chance to look at everything you guys have done. So if you have already addressed something like this, I will catch it there. Sending this to Ask Broken Moto as well and look forward to hearing the answer. So 1995 CB750 Nighthawk, 28,000 miles, sat for 12 years in a garage, did the carb rebuild and fired it up. Basically, the bike will idle after cold start under choke at around 1,000 RPM. And then as it warms up, it starts dropping to 800. Totally normal. This happens even if I take the choke out after warm up period. It will idle around 800 RPM. I give it some throttle and it has good response, but when I go to let go of the throttle and let the bike return to idle, the bike will drop below 800 RPM and stall out. Still playing with the idle adjustments, so I may find an answer soon, but wondering if the idle mixture screws need to be adjusted as the idle speed is adjusted. I did the carb rebuild and set the needle valve to 3 turns from bottom out as recommended. As part of the rebuild, I added number 4 shims otherwise, which is just a little tune-up that I do to these to richen them up a little bit. Otherwise, it's pretty much stock. If you guys have time, would also welcome your opinion on cycle gear. I know helmets, boots, gloves, and certain items, but would you go with a textile jacket with inserts for back, shoulders, and elbow, or go leather? My intention is late spring, summer rides, not really a commuter, but more of getting out on the road. Getting out on the road and away from the world kind of rides. Lots of rural 2 lanes and light traffic in western PA, north of Pittsburgh. Then again, gotta watch for deer, rabbits, and bear. Oh my. Appreciate all the help. Can't wait to get on the road once spring gets here. So for some reason, I was like flashing to a response email that I gave him, and I think I gave him the wrong information because I think I read this wrong. So I think I told him to turn the mixture screws out, and what it sounds like he needs to turn them in.
Yeah, if it dips below idle, it's rich.
I think I might have given the wrong information, but I might not have answered. I don't know.
But a stock bike, 3 turns out, that's not abnormal.
That's not abnormal.
It probably wasn't.
I did tell him something, and it was that on the 750 Nighthawks, one of the problems that you run into with these is they have a choke rail with arms for the plungers. Then they lift the plungers up individually. So there's like one rail, and you tighten these arms onto this rail, and then the arms have to feed into the plungers, and that's what lift the plungers up. If you don't get that stuff, I mean, squeaky clean, perfectly clean, all of them won't rest back down.
Okay.
So then it's constantly trying to run rich at idle.
Yeah, you got a plunger that's open.
Yeah. So I think what I told him was check the choke free play and manually operate it. You know, look at your carburetors where the choke plungers are, pull it up, drop it down a number of times, you know, a couple of times, and then see if you see any of them that are hung up, and you can kind of check that by just using your thumb and like pressing down on the outermost ones and see if they drop more, you know, because I've run into that for sure on one of my Nighthawks. I've cleaned the carbs on it, and then I run it, you know, all through winter time, and eventually things start to get a little bit like it gets, you know, they just don't function as cleanly as they did at first. And when I push the choke in, it does kind of what he does. It's still kind of running well, but it may kind of richen up, and I'll manually push them down with my thumbs while I'm riding on it, or while I'm idling, and it will change it, and it will solve the problem. So I think that was another thing that I told him, was just to check that function of the plungers.
Sure. You said a lot there.
Yeah, I did.
I
read a lot.
I didn't think that was going to be that long. I was like,
me neither.
You extracted a lot there.
Yeah. Cycle gear. What kind of, if you were to ride in the wintertime or on your late spring summer rides, are you just like a hoodie and helmet guy, or do you suit up?
Yeah, when all the street riding I do is side streets here if I have to test bikes.
Okay.
And maybe a rip
Yeah.
on the main road, and I'm done. But
yeah.
So that's not a lot of time on the road, and it's not a lot of risk. So therefore I have a helmet on. That's it.
Yeah.
No gloves, nothing. You know, it's pretty low key riding.
Yeah.
If I was riding all the time, man, I would have all that stuff in my jacket,
right?
Gloves, everything, boots. Yeah, I would have all that. How about you?
I have to test ride a lot of bikes, so I'm kind of doing the same thing. I would say maybe 2 years ago, I was riding every single day on my Nighthawks, the 450 or something like that. I'm not a big fan of leather. I feel like if I ride with leather in the cold, I just turn into like a popsicle, because like the leather's cold, you know what I mean? And I mean, they sell like Thinsulate, like the motorcycle industry for jackets has changed astronomically. You know, every year I feel like it changes. You can get a nice leather jacket with Thinsulate, and it's like you don't feel the leather on the outside. It doesn't feel as stiff, you know. But leather does stiffen up no matter what. And I feel like once it gets cold, it's just cold all the time. I ride, if I'm gonna ride, with like a canvas style. I have a jacket from Saint Company, really expensive company. I didn't buy it; I won it in a contest. But I have another jacket that I gotten from I don't think it was Cycle Gear, but I think it was it might have been Cycle Gear. I can't remember, but it's like a canvas style, and it has places for it to breathe. It has places for it to put pads in if you want. But the canvas style seems to breathe more in the springtime, right? And the leather, and if you ride leather in the springtime, I feel like you're going to get really hot, and then there's no real way to kind of escape that. But in the canvas, if you can withstand a little bit colder temperatures at the beginning of spring, and just kind of put layers on, because that's always the key, is just layers. And as you trim down during the spring, you can still have that canvas jacket on, the same one with armor in it and everything in it. I feel like it just breathes a little bit better. That's my only advice for that. But some people swear by leather, man. Like they're like leather chaps, leather jackets, leather gloves. They're like, this is all I ever, like this is the best thing ever. But I'm 150 pounds soaking wet, you know, so it just doesn't work for me.
All right,
cool.
Let's wrap this up.
Take us out, Matt.
All righty, that was 4 questions. Only an hour 10 minutes to go through that. So, okay, so we'll try to be short here. So if you guys have a tech question, Cody, what is that email where people can reach us?
askbrokenmoto@gmail.com. Send us pictures of your bike, videos of it running. If you're doing it by the model, just put it in the subject. Helps us categorize things a little bit better. But info is great. Anything you got, year, make, miles, would be really helpful. And yeah, that's it. Ooh, it's colored.
Yeah, it's anodized green, like
All
a forest
right.
green. Here,
I like it, man.
The lighting's kind of shitty, but yeah, I just picked up these parts, so this is the real deal.
Is that the final product?
Yep, this is the final.
So cool, man. So you'd use this for vapor honing,
vapor blasting, and it also dry blasts as well. So
very cool.
These guys here are the rest of the pieces are at the anodizer. So I'll have them back in a week, and then I'll put a video together and then start shipping them.
Cool, man.
So
I've heard that you've gotten a lot of interest in those things already. So
yeah, the pre-orders are sold out.
Very cool.
So there's no more to go. If you want one, sorry.
Yeah.
You'd have to wait another month.
You making more though?
Yeah, I will. So my goal is to ship these out, just get a little feedback, and then obviously order more, and then keep them in stock. This was just a pilot run, if you will,
Yeah. Cool, man. I also saw that you came out with a little product launch.
Yeah. So I've been wanting to do this for a while. So it's a home business course. So if you want to learn to earn some cash, you want to start up your own business, I put together a course. It's 4.5 hours long.
Nice.
Like 49 video chapters.
Wow. Okay, cool.
So some of them are a minute or two long. Some of them are 20 minutes long. It just depends. But I cover starting up a service business and then also an online business, because my business is both.
Yeah.
And they complement each other.
Yeah.
And the online thing, as you know, is a little passive. So that's always nice.
Very cool.
So yeah, definitely check that out. It's 9 years of what I've learned into 4.5 hours.
I'm sure there's some gold in there for sure, man.
For sure.
That's awesome, dude. Cool. I don't have too much to plug. The 900 video is out. For anybody who's looking to clean carburetors on a dual overhead cam 750 or the famous CB900F or C. I have a full walkthrough on that now, front to back shot. It's a long video. I think it's probably close to 3 hours long. And I show you how to remove them, install them, tune them, clean them, front to back, split them all the way through. I've gotten some guys who are really enjoying that and some good results. So that's nice. Out. Broken Moto Show, MotorCyclemd, sponsored by Grip Clean. Product placement. Bing, bing, bing. Love their wipes. They're great. I love the wipes the most because it's really nice when you're out in the garage, instead of running inside or you're about to go inside and your hands are just destroyed.
Yeah.
And you may not have like running water out here. Quick wipe of these things, you can take everything off your hands, all of your tools, and then the napkin's still wet and is able to clean even more if you want, and then get your hands nice and clean. You can go inside, because my house is all white inside. So if I go inside with dirty hands,
with fresh paint, right?
Whew. Oh yeah, with fresh paint. Better believe it. So that's one of my favorite products from them. But if you guys are interested in trying some stuff out, hit it up. You get 10% off if you use the code MotoMD in your cart. 10% off your entire order. There's been some people picking it up and they're liking it. So
yeah, and that's especially important now because nitrile gloves are like 4 or 5 times the price. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, my favorite company, Gloveworks, is now like $40 for a box of disposable gloves. I'm just like, not going to happen. I'm just not going to do it. I boycott.
Just buy some wipes.
Just buy some wipes, man.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Anything
Until
else?
next time. No, I don't got nothing, man.
No, I think we talked enough.
Yeah, I spouted it all off in the beginning. So
Okay. All right. Later, guys.
later.